Hello everyone! My name is Konstantin Kozarkov. I make acoustic guitars and today I want to tell you about one of them. This guitar was custom made. The person specifically requested a small guitar to play at home, but with good bass and a bright, clear, and vibrant sound. So, everything at once, but with a small size. Therefore, I based it on the grand auditorium size and the Breedlove guitar shape. I combined the two, and it turned out that in terms of widths at this point, it is like a grand auditorium, kind of the volume of this area. But the waist and shoulders are significantly narrower. The thickness remains the same. As a result, it indeed takes up less space, but still sounds very good. And because the waist and shoulders are narrowed, it has less space than if it were just a grand auditorium. And the sound is incredibly harmoniously balanced. The exceptionally high-quality materials chosen were Sitka spruce and meticulously selected. Here you can even see a small pattern, this bear claw. But this happened by chance, meaning it wasn't visible initially when the spruce was selected. The customer just got very lucky. The sides and back are beautiful rosewood, and the neck is high-quality mahogany wood. The headstock overlay, the fretboard overlay are ebony, and the bridge is also ebony. Rosewood gives volume to the sound, with these noble basses, a bit of a piano-like sound, while spruce adds brightness to the tone. So, if it were cedar, the sound would be bright, it sparkles. The instrument turned out very balanced because it doesn't have too much booming bass and doesn't overdo the high frequencies. That is, it sounds very good across all ranges. In general, how a guitar will sound depends not only on the materials. So, we took Sitka spruce and rosewood, and it will definitely be great. Of course, a lot depends on the thickness of the top plate and how the bracing is arranged. In the video, you will now see a photo of how the bracing is arranged inside. How much material we remove from the braces and their shape greatly affect the sound. And in this way, you can achieve higher frequencies, more mid-range, lower frequencies, and so on. All of this can be adjusted. Of course, initially it won't be clear exactly how it will sound. But through experience, just by trial and error, you change something in each guitar every time, and you notice how your changes affect the sound. In this way, over time, you can achieve the sound you need. There are also some blueprints and diagrams available on the internet that you can use as a reference to achieve the desired sound. The tuning machines here are Paxville, but they are not too stiff, not too soft, a budget segment, but not Alice. The upper and lower nuts are made from bone, and the pins are also made from ebony. And the bridge, as I mentioned, is also made of ebony. You see, the bridge shape is almost an exact copy of a tailor, because I don't make bridges from scratch yet. I buy a ready-made bridge and just fit it to the top, because the top, for example, on this guitar is not flat. It has a small radius, which also affects the sound and strengthens the top plate. As a result, it is more stable and more durable. There is a slight radius, and the bridge needs to be adjusted to fit it, meaning its height might need to be slightly reduced, and so on. Also, the lower saddle is not made like on store-bought guitars. For example, it goes straight here, then steps back as if for 2 strings, and then straight again. Here, the scale length is set for each string individually. You probably won't be able to see it, but, for example, on the first string, the peak is in the middle, on the second string, it's at the back end, on the third string, it's slightly shifted forward, and on the 4th, 5th, and 6th strings, it's also almost at the front edge. This means that it is customized for each guitar individually. The string height here is 2.4 millimeters. It's 2.3 to 2.4 on the 6th string if measured at the 12th fret. Because the customer asked, I inquire what you will be playing, maybe fingerstyle or something else, then I can lower the strings. The client said that he plays pretty much everything. He plays fingerstyle, but also uses picking, strumming, and so on. But then, if you play with strumming technique, don't lower it too much because they will buzz and frets will get hit with a strong attack. So, the height is set to a medium level. And at the first fret, the height is made slightly minimal for convenience. So you might have often seen short clips or videos where you can see Roman playing his guitar beautifully. Roman played it. He also shared his opinion, saying that the strings were a bit too high in the lower positions, which made it slightly uncomfortable. I immediately took note of this because he has a lot of experience and so on. It was uncomfortable, so I lowered the strings. It is convenient and easy to press the bar. And so on. The frets here are 2.5 millimeters wide. The height is 1.9 millimeters, specifically, the height of the mushroom cap. That is, these are not too small, not too low frets, and not the large 3 millimeter ones. Although there are even more, they are indeed generally quite comfortable. In principle, tapping also sounds good if you play something. And there is a reserve if anything needs further adjustment. Depending on the complexity, everything will change anyway. The guitar will need periodic maintenance. As I mentioned, the neck is made of mahogany. The customer also requested strap locks mounts. Inside the neck, there are, of course, truss rods. The truss rods are made of titanium. Good, expensive. Because of this, the neck is not as heavy. That is, it still outweighs, of course, but the heaviest part of the entire guitar, you could say, is the tuning machines. Because, speaking of the tuning machines, right now it outweighs only because of them. When you remove the tuning machines, the guitar is actually very well balanced overall. And it doesn't feel heavy, but once the tuning machines are installed, you can feel it. They are metal, heavy after all, and so on. The strings are Elixir. Gauge 12, of course, and the setup is done accordingly for gauge 12. The body has inlays, well, like the little tree inlays on Martin's as the customer chose. The binding here is black, as you can see, made of black ebony. And there's also purfling, as they say in English. I'm not sure of the exact term, but it's just binding and more binding, well, it's confusing. Additionally, there's this little spruce. The customer also requested it. I usually offer a selection of pre-made rosettes, and he asked to use this same spruce for the rosette. So, it looks quite beautiful overall. This is how it actually looks from the back here. That is, an insertion made of ebony is also used here. In general, this insertion is not made so much for beauty, but because the sides also converge here, creating a seam. And to hide it beautifully, of course, they make such an inlay. Well, it also looks very good for the design. The sound is quite balanced. I like it. I hope the client will like it too. Actually, the client has already seen the video that you saw of Roman playing. I also sent him a video. And from the video, he likes everything. But I think it's more important that he likes it in person. And in person, it sounds even much better than on the video. I don't know what else to say about the guitar. So, please write your comments on what else you would like to hear about and what should be mentioned. Also, please feel free to write if you want to place an order, or if you have any questions, because various options are accessible. Different types of wood are accessible, as well as different sizes and shapes, like jumbo. I am expecting materials soon, and will start making a jumbo guitar soon. The top will be made of cedar, actually. The sides and back are also rosewood, but in a jumbo shape. Various materials are available. You can use Indian spruce. These are used on the most expensive guitars. It means it has a brighter, more noble sound. There is moon spruce, as well as Brazilian rosewood, Madagascar rosewood, cocobolo, and a lot of other types of wood. A guitar made of catalogs is coming soon. I don't know exactly when, but I'm slowly working on a guitar made of catalogs for sale. Catalogs is similar in density to ebony, that is. It is called Mexican ebony because it is very dense and it has a bright sound, almost a bit metallic. Well, I like it, I want to try making it. We'll see how it turns out, but it will be for sale. Contact me regarding payment. everything is flexible, meaning you can pay 50% at the beginning and 50% at the end. There is an installment plan directly from the banks, meaning you arrange the installment plan, and I receive almost all the money up front while you pay the bank. It's convenient for both you and me because I don't have to demand any money since I need to buy materials and so on. It's generally comfortable for both you and me. Currently, I estimate about 2 months to make a guitar, so I don't have to rush because I do this at home. My young daughter is also at home, and I don't know if you can hear it right now, but she is crying. And I can't use power tools all the time, all day long, because it's noisy. When she is sleeping, I can't work accordingly. Therefore, the deadlines might be slightly extended, but not by much. The finish here is lacquer, polyurethane lacquer. At first, I used shellac to finish the guitars because, well, I have a child at home and spraying paint at home is not ideal due to the smell and so on. But now I have set up a small painting area on my terrace, so I have the opportunity to paint a few. So far, I'm not happy with the final result of the painting because it's still quite cold outside, but it's okay. However, for the next guitar, I will be handing over the painting to a professional who specializes in it. In other words, I would rather give part of my money to a person who will do the painting. So I will earn less in the end, but the result will definitely be better. And I won't worry about the finish, about any orange peel effect, or anything like that. I'll hand it over to a professional, and they will do everything with quality. You can choose matte, satin, glossy lacquer, and so on. I hope you liked everything. I believe that the main indicator and evaluation of a guitar are not in my words, but in the video where you can hear how it sounds. Of course, it would be great if you could hear it live, but today, literally, as I'm filming this, I'm about to go deliver it to the customer because the customer is from another city. Thank you very much for watching. For any questions, write to me on Telegram, where I will leave links in the description below the video. The link to Roman's channel is also in the description. He is the guitarist who played. Thank you all and goodbye.